Greetings and welcome to a special Warhammer 40,000 product review. Thanks goes to Games Workshop for providing this to review for free because, well, I would have bought it otherwise, but, you know, it's great when I get to review of something like this, especially something I really, really like. But today I'm here to talk to you about the Black Templar special, early launch army box, which is going for pre-order today, well, at the time of the video's launch anyway. So yeah, this is something I got for free to review, and I'm just going to do a brief unboxing. I'll quickly go through the supplement and the models, and then after that, I'll come back for an overview. But yeah, you know, I'm just... you'll see when I'm unboxing, but I'm just so happy. Like, when I found out Black Templars were getting redone on, the Warhammer community website, it was just... they were my second Warhammer 40,000 army, and... you've I've started them in 4th edition when they got their own Codex. I've got at least a 3,000 to 4,000 point army. I own all the Black Templar models. The only thing that stopped me continuing them is when they basically kind of lost their own Codex and lost their identity. So when they got their own Codex supplement, and not even that, they got their own full Primaris upgrade, I was like, So yeah, I'll just cut myself to unboxing the box now. Yeah, as I covered in my intro, this is, well, my unboxing and opening of the Black Templars core set for Warhammer 40,000. So this is actually a pretty cool box. I've already taken out of the cellophane, I guess. Only 13 miniatures, which is something I'll get on to the end. But still, you've got a nice, faded black artwork, which is, yeah, really nice. Oh, I already ripped it. On the flip side, it shows you all the miniatures you get and everything that comes inside. That artwork is from the 7th edition, or 6th or 7th edition Codex. And yeah, lists all the miniatures you get. So you get a Marshal, Primaris Crusader Squad, Emperor's Champion, and a Redemptor Dreadnought. So pretty awesome, and it's all painted up as well as the cards, Codex, yeah. And yeah, that's everything you get. So let's flip the... oh, it even breaks it down, yeah. So 5 Initiates, 1 Sword Brother, and 4 Primaris Neophytes. Cool. All right, so let's... so this is kind of like in a sleeve, within a sleeve, if this makes sense. So... so if you take out that sleeve, get some really cool, well, more artwork of John Blanche's famous artwork. One of probably my favorite pieces of artwork for Warhammer 40,000. What's on the flip side? Nothing, it's just black. All right, so I think it's this side that comes out. So inside this sleeve is another box. Let's put this to one side. And there's all the sprues and stuff. So here are the data cards. Not as many as I thought, but nice unique art for the box. Then all the bases, lovely bases, and all the miniatures. So this is the Emperor's Champion sprue. As you can see here, he's not actually in too many parts. Actually quite easy to build sub-assembled. The only weird thing is his legs, the way they go together, but it's pretty open posed. I just wouldn't glue him to the base until he's painted, so that's pretty nice. Oh, it's the weird thing I find is the sprues are bent, so it looks like for some reason they're curved. Doesn't really seem to be affecting the miniatures, but something else. But this is the Marshal. So the cool thing about this is you can either build it in the current pose, or one of the options lets you build it as the classic 4th edition, 3rd edition model. So really nice. They didn't have to do that. And it comes with all the standard detail optional tactical rocket has to be glued to. He's got 2 head options. Yeah, and he's got, the kissing skeleton. But it's a weird, I like the fusion of, like, even though it's Primaris Mark 10 armor, you can see the hallmarks for, like, Iron Mark 3 armor, and just feels like knightly weapons. So, really cool. Power weapon, power axe, combi flamer, and a plasma pistol. It's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, it looks... It's weird the way he looks when you see them naked, basically. This is the Redemptor Dreadnought. So just standard Redemptor Dreadnought full part kit. Nice to have. Probably thrown in there to kind of offset the cost, And then all you have left are the Primaris Crusader sprues. So these are doubled up. So if I've counted it right, you basically get 6 initiates, 6 Primaris initiates, and then 4 scouts. So each one has 3 Primaris, 2 scouts, 3 Primaris, 2 scouts. So you can, even though you can't run the minimum, so I'll get that later. But basically, you get cape. You've actually got a lot of weapon options. The only thing you're missing here is the shotguns, but that's in the upgrade sprue for the neophytes. But yeah, you get a lot of weapon options, helmets for everyone, weapon options, as I said, for every loadout. So you can either give your Primaris initiates auto bolt guns or bolt pistols and chainswords. And you can give your Primaris neophytes bolter carbines or bolt pistol chainsword. So, yeah. And you get a lot of little things. Where is it? So you still got a lot of optional upgrades like Crusader seals, skulls, all that kind of stuff. It's really awesome. So even if you don't use all the parts, you can upgrade normal Primaris units. Can't really mix and match bodies, but you can use the extra arms and stuff. So that's a really nice touch. And that's pretty much it for the sprues. It would have been nice to have the upgrade sprue, but I guess they're saving that for something else. Or like, maybe if they dropped the Redemptor and added like a sword brother unit, could have seen that, but not complaining. It's just nice. You also get 2 power fists, so a power fist for sprue. Yeah, you just get a lot of weapon options. Power weapons, power axe. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then finally, you've got this art insert, which is double-sided. So that's the normal Codex cover art. This is some nice new art. There we go. Sorry about the glare. Killing a Psyker. Well, heretics, basically. And then we get the lovely Codex. Special John Blanche art edition. So cool. You got nice artwork at the back. And then beneath that, you've got the building guide. So it tells you how to build everything inside. Pretty nice. Well, essential, really. And then you get the transfers. And there's like a lot of detail on these transfers. Like you've got gold. It's just a really nice transfer sheet. You even got tilting shield transfers. So chains. It's like really good. Just it's nice to see Games Workshop step up their game for transfers. All right, let's put that back in. That's pretty much it for the box. Like, I was going to save this for the end, but my main downside is I love all the miniatures in this. The problem is you don't really get many. I know it's 13, and even though this art, like this Codex supplement is amazing, because the cost is £125 for the box, but because you don't get a full Codex, because this is a supplement, so it's about 30 pages, I think, and you don't get that many miniatures, really. It feels like Games Workshop's pushing the limit a bit, but I'm a huge Black Templar fan, so this is it's a acceptable downside for me. Because man, I've been playing Black Templars since 4th edition. they were my second Warhammer 40,000 army. And I remember when they were being previewed in White Dwarf with the designer's notes, and I was just reading them religiously. So seeing them up to date is crazy. Like, the cool thing about this codex is it's like they read my mind when I was a kid, so 12, and effectively added everything I wanted. So, you know, you've got classic hallmarks of old and new art, so that's all art from the 4th edition codex. Standard introduction. Oh, it's 80 pages. Sorry, so it's not 30. It's 80 pages. So the glare's a bit bad because of my studio lights. And yeah, I've already read through the codex, but like the art is just so good. Like that's the 4th edition cover. Then, you know, it's got the narrative explaining more about, like, we're just expanding on the narrative from before. Land Raider Crusaders, which were the best, but are now sadly not that great anymore. Interesting thing with, like, the Scriptorium of Truths, where the Black Templars have been, you know, editing their past to show just true faith and belief, which is a nice nod. I like that. And just, like, yeah, it's just a nice mix of artwork. Like that Helbrecht artwork is so cool. He's so cool. Famous war zones, the current era. It does talk about Primaris. I need to read it fully. I've already read it once. But basically, it's kind of like the weird thing. It makes a big deal about Primarisine in most army books. In this book, it's more like the Black Templars are just so fanatical and zealous. They have one of the highest successful rates for transferring into becoming a Primaris. And that's pretty much it. There's no like big, oh, Helbrecht got injured, so we got upgraded. It's like, nope, you just did it. Just did it. All of them just did it. It's really cool. And then, but the thing, you still got the people like not really happy about Primaris. My funniest thing that they mention in here is about how, you know, there's so many crusading fleets for the Black Templars. Some are so far out, they're not even aware of the reinforcements that they could have used. So you have this hilarious thing where they're crusading so fast and far out that they're outpacing the reinforcements for them. And there's also a nice thing where they talk about the Black Templar's strength, because before they had like, it's rumored that they have about 10,000 Marines. And then when they get more Primaris, obviously they had like, I think it's, you know, a huge influx of Primaris. They were like, they don't fully explain it in the book, I think, but it's more like, you know, you seem to have a lot more Black Templars than we realize. And Helbrecht's like, yeah, you know, it's just numbers. It's not accurate. It's like, so there's even more Black Templars, which is great for me. They're everywhere. Oh, and I like this because you've got Dawn, Sigismund, witches, and then Black Templar. It's nice. Kind of a nice growth. Then you've got like Colors of the Crusade. So the thing I like is it shows Crusade badges because it's a mixture of red, white, and black. And now they've added like yellow, gold. So it's a nice callback. And then a gallery. It is really cool seeing all these Black Templar converted miniatures and original miniatures. I really love the Sword Brethren. They're just so cool. They've just updated. It's because I have the metal ones, so it's nice having these new ones. And then you've got the huge Helbrecht on his 60mm base. There's more miniature artwork. So you've got a lot of rules. This is the Combat Patrol, which I think someone's leaked. So in the Combat Patrol, it's the Marshal, a Primaris Sword Brother squad, Primaris Crusader squad, 5 Initiates, and an Impulsor transport. So hopefully that's not the only way to get Crusader squads, otherwise that's going to be a bit not cool. So you have the detachment ability, so you can take 4 vows. Let's try and minimize the glare. Anyway, you've got Suffer Not the Unclean to Live, Uphold the Honor of the Emperor, Board the Witch, Destroy the Witch, and accept any challenge no matter the odds. So the main vows, you take 1 per game, and you can change it each mission. So you've got Suffer Not the Unclean to Live. So each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack against a non-vehicle unit, hit of a 6 automatically wounds, but you have to charge the closest non-enemy aircraft within range. So you kind of forced to charge where you don't want to, which kind of makes it not that great. We've got Uphold the Honor of the Emperor. So you get this is actually really good. You get a 5-up invulnerable save, and each time a wound roll is made against this unit on a 1 to 2, it fails. So only really good against strength 8 plus stuff. Then each time it makes an attack, each time you are targeted by attack, you don't make the benefit of cover. So that's fine. Abhor the Witch, destroy the Witch, which is actually really good. Once per battle in your first movement phase, if there's any enemy psychers, you get +3 to your movement. So really good on bikers, but even then your infantry go to 9-inch movement, which is strong. But you cannot do actions while within 18 inches of a psyker. So not too good against psyker armies, but just really good for that mobility. Then accept any challenges no matter the odds, which is probably the default, where as long as you're in an engagement range, you always count as the assault doctrine. So if you can do turn 1-2 charges, this is actually really good. And you always get +1 attack in the first round of combat. So basically, if you're in prolonged combats, you're just harder to fight. But you cannot fall back. So, I mean, generally you won't be, but there are cases where you want to. Then stratagems, there are a lot. So you've got Devout Push, which I think is unchanged, where you can just basically push yourself, into melee range for 3 inches or onto an objective. The stratagems don't seem too broken. Like, they seem pretty fine. Nothing stands out as amazing. You've got Champion of the Feast, where one Black Templar model from your army that has the word Sergeant or Sword Brother in their profile gets 1 to their attack and wounds and improves their weapon skill by 1, and you can only use that once. There's a lot of nice things to buff single characters. It's nice stuff. Nothing shouting out too good. Yeah, it's all okay stuff. Obviously, so I believe this works on top of your Codex. So if you have a Codex, you get extra relics, I believe, on top of these, and stratagems. Then you've got litanies. So you have 6 special litanies that your chaplains can know if they're Black Templars. I think the best one, so you've got Litany of Divine Protection. Where we go? Yeah, so it's like the first one gives a 5-up DPR. The second one lets you do unmodified wound rolls over 6, do 1 mortal wound, but you're capped at doing 6 mortal wounds from it. Plea of Deliverance is really cool. It stops you being affected by any psychic powers, and if you are under the effect of any psychic powers, they stop immediately. Fires of Devotion. You can add 1 to attacks to 1 unit. Then Fervent Acclamation. Let's see. You can give a unit a different vow to be affected by. And then Oath of Glory. It's only for the chaplain. It makes each firing roll is a 6. It does 2 additional hits and add 1 to their strength. So yeah, if you want a melee one. Then you've got your standard warlord traits. Relics. So you've got basically everything from the old Black Templar supplement. The one I like the most is actually the Witch Seeker bolts, because if you put that on a chaplain, Primaris chaplain on a bike, his twin bolt gun, just basically because you ignore the psyker character rule if they're a psyker, and as long as you hit, you do D3 mortal wounds. So oddly, that chaplain can just snipe psychers. It's great. And the only other really change is the Skull of Cacodominus is slightly better, and the Sword of Judgment is now strength +3, AP free, damage free, and that hits really hard. You also get relic bearers. So as long as you have a chaplain, you can give each Black Templar infantry or Black Templar biker unit one of these upgrades. And obviously the best one is the Holy Orb of Antioch, the best upgrade. I think I used to put them on all my HQ characters back in 4th edition. It's basically a mortal wound bomb. Then you've got different stuff, like one of them changes your flamer into a blast weapon if you've got the Primaris flamer, which is okay. Upgraded Power Fist, and then just some more buff stuff. So it's nice if you have the points. Allows you to do very thematic things, which is never a bad thing. Then you've got their own chapter approved missions, which some of them seem really good. I mean, in terms of some others were for a turn with like free end game. So, but they're also quite tough. So they're not easy, but they're not, some aren't too hard as well. I think, where is it? Purge the enemy. Bathe your blade in the blood of your foe. Well, this is play like, because you nominate a character, they nominate, your opponent then nominates a character, and then you get 5 victory points depending on if you if that challenger was destroyed. You get another 5 points if it was destroyed by melee, and then you get another 5 points if it was your character who killed them. But then, like, no mercy, no respite is you score 4 victory points at the end of the battle round. If you destroy more units in melee than Black Templars were destroyed, and then you get 3 VP at the end of the game if you complete a condition based on the vow. So that's actually pretty good. Then you've got your nice crusade rules. I think this is Maxime Pastoral's army, and it's like, but basically, this artwork was cool, right? He's basically made that as I'll try and focus on it, but he's made it as a model, and it's crazy. It's like, I know he's a sculptor for GW, but oh my gosh, like his dedication has made his army even better. But you know, I haven't played Warhammer 40,000 in a while, but you've got some nice in-depth crusade rules if you want to play a narrative game, or you know, just playing campaign, well, like, what do you call it? Starting battle with your friends, you know, like building up and playing. Then you've got a nice name generator and a crusade army. That's like Maxime Pastoral's army. It's so good. Like, oh, it's Armageddon Force. It's just really nice. All right, and this is talking about the additional war gear and weapons Black Templar gets, because for like the Marshal and Castellans, instead of giving them their own data sheets, they've just told you upgrade a captain or a lieutenant, and then they have the following special equipment they can take, like auto plasmas and like flamer pistols and stuff. And it shows you can upgrade certain vehicles to multi-motors. Also, another cool artwork from the 4th edition Codex. You got High Marshal Helbrecht. So he is a beast. Like, you can't properly see it because of the glare. But he's got 8 wounds, 2 ups, 6 attacks, and 2 up save. But the cool thing, he's got a combi melter, which is either a bolt rifle or a melter gun that's always d6 plus 2 damage. He always gets 2 attacks from his attendants, who are just strength 3, so just like punching. Then his Sword of the High Marshals has been reworked. So you can either use it one-handed, so it's melee, plus 2 strength, AP 3, damage 1, but each time he makes an attack with it, he can make 2 hits instead of 1. So he has 6 attacks. He gets plus 1 for being a Space Marine, and like if you give him plus 1 via the Chaplain, that would be 8 attacks, so he could pump out 16 attacks. And he also has an aura where he gets plus 1 strength as well as everyone within 6, so it'd be strength 7. And then he can use it two-handed, where it's times 2 strength, AP3 damage 3, so he can just murder anything. And his base is so huge, but he can basically just run in and murder stuff. And then he gets Rites of Battle, so everyone within 6 rerolls 1, and because he's a chapter master, he can pick a unit that's Black Templar core or character, and they can reroll all failed hits. And he has an Eye Halo. So he's actually more of a slaughter piece, but he's a really good buff. And if you make him your Warlord, he gets the, what do you call it? It's the Warlord trait. I think you get plus 1 to advance and charge rolls. And obviously you can take an awesome helmet. Chaplain Grimaldus, he's 5 wounds, Primaris. They've reworked his banners. So, I mean, his items. So the banner gives everyone within 6 D3 plus 3 to their, what do you call it, advance rolls instead of just 6. So you're more reliable. Then Remnants of the Fallen Temple. So units within 6 have a 6 plus DPR, so they can ignore mortal wounds and stuff. And then the Scepter of Anointing gives him plus 1 to when he rolls to do a vow. So they normally trigger on a 3-up. So they can trigger on a 2-up. But there's a Black Templar stratagem where you can automatically pass, it's like bulbaceous speech. So basically your chaplain automatically passes their chant and they can cast an additional one. So what you do is you do that with him because he knows 3. So you can auto cast his first one, then he casts his next one on a 2-up and another one on a 2-up. So he can do 3 vows per turn. And, you know, he's just a really good buff piece. Emperor's Champion. So he's swords. I think this is working like for a while now. So it can either be Sweeping Blow, which is +3 strength, AP 3, damage 2, or Thrusting Strike, where it's ×2 strength, AP 4, damage 3, and it's -1 to his attack rolls to hit. The only downside with him is that he counts as a HQ slot and not like doesn't count as a HQ. He can still be your leader. He's -1 to be hit in close combat. Against characters, he can reroll hit on wounds. He can never have any sort of relics. And if he's with engagement range of a character, he fights first. So, and he can pile in 6. So he's really good. And he has a 4-up invulnerable save. I like him. He's just a beat stick, but he's Emperor's Champion. You always take him. Then you got Primaris Crusader squads. So I'm kind of torn on these. You have to take a minimum of 5 initiates, 4 Primaris Neophytes, and then a Sword Brother. Sword Brother always has a power sword. Your initiates can either have auto bolt rifles or bolt pistol and bolt weapons. And if you have 10 or more models, you can take up to 2 Pyre Blasters or 2 Power Fists. You can mix and match. And your Sword Brother can either have a power sword or power axe. And then your neophytes can either take bolt carbines, shotguns, or bolt pistol, bolt weapon. I do actually like this as a shooter unit because I feel it's too unwieldy as a 10-man squad to get into combat. But with your shooting, generally you've got the 2 flamers, which are nice because they're range 15, assault d6, strength 4, AP 1. So you can kind of, and because they're all assault, you can just run and shoot even though you'd be -1 to hit. But it's a nice mix of shooting. I think it's a good shooting unit because even if you run into combat, you've got 2 attacks each with 3 on the Sword Brother, and you still got the Sword Brother with a power weapon. So it's a nice squad. It's just quite big, and it can go up to 20 models, which is great for Primaris. So you can kind of blob around it, but it's weird you can't just take initiates on their own. Because you've got the old Crusader squad, and has the same rules. So like minimum 4 initiates and a Sword Brother, but you can take up to 10 neophytes and it can be up to a 20-man squad. But the same rules as the last edition. They've gone up in points a bit, but I think it's because of the synergy of the units. The Sword Brothers are actually what I'm disappointed most by. They have the best rules. I mean, the best models. So the way is it, you basically can't mix and match weapons because in the box, apparently, if you have 9 or fewer models, you can give 1 Primaris, well, you can give 1 Sword Brother a Thunder Hammer, 1 2 Lightning Claws, 1 a Power Axe, and 1 a Power Maul. They can all take Power Swords, so I think you'd probably just give them all Power Swords and then 1 a Thunder Hammer. Because if it contains 10 models, then you can basically double each special weapon, because that's basically how many you get in the box. And normal chainsword guys can also take a Flame Pistol or Pyre Pistol. The cool thing about these is that they're not affected by the downside of Black Templar vows, but the problem is they're 3 attacks, which is nice, but they're only 2 wounds. So I think Blade Guard are better, just because even if you go all Power Sword, you're only damage 1. Your Thunderhand will be the only thing that's damage 3. It's just really unfortunate because I love the models. They're just okay rules-wise. The main problem is how they're going to get into combat because they're not that survivable. They're not too expensive, but it's just, I don't know. More arts. So if you buy the full Codex, you'll get this in a double spread. We compare that to the front. It's like a miniaturized. Best artwork. Then you just get weapon profiles and points. So points, if that focuses. But yeah, it's like Grimaldus is 140, including everything. The Emperor's Champion is 100, so okay. High Marshal Helbrecht is 160, which I think is really good. Then each Sword Brother has 22 points a model, and it's 3 points for each upgrade. Oh, you can also give one a plasma pistol, but okay. And yeah, it's generally 3 points for every weapon, apart from like the pistols, which are 5 points, and the Thunderhand, which is 12. Then, you know, the list loadouts for the Crusader Squad, which is now 13 points for a Neophyte and 18 for everything else. So, I don't know. Then you've got the Crusader Squad, where it's 16 for a Neophyte, Primaris Neophyte, and then, you know, 19 for the Crusader Squad, Primaris Initiate, and, well, Sword Brother. It's 1 point to take an auto bolt rifle, so it's more expensive as a shooty unit, but I feel they're better because they can do well in combat anyway. It's just they have a nice range for it. And then the list for points for all the upgrades, basically multi-melters on all your vehicles that can take a Iron Hail Heavy Stubber, and then, you know, your relic bearers. And then that's the Codex. Overall, I really love it. Like, as a Black Templar fan, it's like 99 out of 10. It's so good. I love it. Like, it's the perfect book they could have released. I think, you know, power-wise, I have no idea. I don't play Warhammer 40,000 competitively. I don't think it'll be amazing competitively. It has some nice builds, and there's probably more depth that I need to explore. But it's really good at combat. Oh, what does the chapter tactics do? Because I know you can reroll charges. I believe every time you roll a 6 to hit with the when they're in the assault doctrine, you get automatic wound or something, automatic attack. Should be under army rules, right? You got the vows. Oh, it's not on here. But yeah, so you've got like the reroll charges, I believe anyway, is really nice. And, you know, they do some more attacks during the assault doctrine, which is nice. But, you know, it's really fluffy, thematic. Like the Codex supplement, sorry, it's just really nice. As I said, it's full of Black Templar artwork, both old and new. It's something I've been waiting for since, oh my gosh, since they lost their Codex. It's amazing. The only thing that disappoints me is it's going to take me a while before the full model range comes out, which is a shame. I really like the Castellan. It's just, I can't wait to paint this army up because I've been waiting so long. But it's just so cool. Really cool. So I'm really happy with it. My only downside is, I said, the value. But, this is just, so good. So yeah, there you have it. That's the Black Templar army box. It's pretty cool, I would say. For rules, I don't know. I'm a competitive gamer, but I'm not too sure with 40k. I know Drukhari's good. I've got a Drukhari army. But for the Black Templars, they look, you know, good. I wouldn't say like amazingly powerful for rules, but they look fun, thematic, and that's kind of what I just want at the moment. They just feel like Black Templars, which is all I want. So I'm just so happy about that. It's, as I said, if you're a Black Templar fan, this box is amazing. The art in the Codex, the narrative, the rules, the miniatures, it's like the perfect fusion. As I said in the unboxing, it's like Games Workshop interviewed my 12-year-old self and asked what I would like in the Codex supplement. It's so good. Like, it's so good in every way. Like, my only real downsides are that, you know, it's only 13 models for £125. It would have been nice if you got like maybe the Sword Brothers as well, or just some more troops, something to flesh it out a bit more. And, you know, maybe if they added the Space Marine Codex as well, but I can understand why they didn't, because it's a supplement, so you may have owned it already. But, you know, it does feel a little slim for the price, I would say. But as a Black Templar fan, I'm just like, the Codex art, like, it's so good. It's just so good. I'm very biased. This is, for me, this is very biased because, you know, I was going to buy this anyway. So once again, thank you to Games Workshop for sending it out. But that's pretty much it. Now I'm just going to start building them and painting them. So I've got a really cool scheme I think I'm going to do. So I'm still set on Armageddon. I'm going to build my core Black Templar army around the core Black Templar stuff and then expand that. Obviously, Helbrecht has to be in the army, Grimaldus and the Emperor's Champion. I want to figure out what to do with the Marshal, but I might just paint him up. But yeah, the color scheme is basically going to be, I want it to be a fast army. I mean, fast to paint, because even though it's black, so I'd prime it black, but then I need to paint it black again. But I'm going to go for a cool black scheme with like fighting over Armageddon. So they've been crusading a while. So I'm going to push my weathering because, you know, I've got a lot of weathering powders, not everywhere, but more so like chips here and there, and then weather up the legs and the edge of the tabards to show, you know, they're not a new force. They've been crusading for a while, kind of like how they are on the artwork. Just to buff them, well, to age them up a bit, to look them a bit rougher around the edges. Apart from Helbrecht, who is going to be shiny and gold. So yeah, I've been thinking about how to do a Black Templar army for years. So now I finally have a proper excuse to. So yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed the unboxing and review. As I said, my only real gripes are like the price and the Sword Brother unit. Like, it's going to be an amazing unit to build and paint. Rules wise, I feel it's a bit lacking. Like, from what I found from reading the Black Templars and the Space Marine Codex as a whole, Primaris have a delivery system problem where their transport only has 5 models and it's 115 points. Basic, and doesn't even have fly, but those are minor things. That's like I'm still like just going to build a nice thematic, that semi-competitive gaming force to play around with. And I'm just going to have so much fun playing with it, win or lose, and just modeling. So I'm so happy. If you can buy this and you want to, I'd recommend it. You may want to wait, but like the Codex, and it's just nice having all this stuff. I need to buy all the Black Templar stuff to show Games Workshop that us Black Templar players really do exist, and make more Black Templar stuff. I don't know, make Primaris Assault Marines and then add like Black Templars to them. I don't know, Flying Sword Brothers, that'd be cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, please remember to like and subscribe, as well as comment down below what you thought of the video and the review. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts. If you're a fellow Black Templar player, whether you're returning or new, let me know what you think and whether you're going to join me on our amazing new crusades that we can throw around as, well, pious Black Templars. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing much to add apart from prime your holy orbs of Antioch and, well, ready the vows for redemption and revenge. Sadly, there are no crits, but we can always imagine the crits inside us as we crusade in the name of the Emperor and, well, Dawn and Sigismund.